We are live.
All right. Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Magachiv.
Yeah, we're fine.
Eli Stefansky.
Today's Daf Yomi. We're starting Daf Yomi by the Gemara. If you don't recall the Mishnah, we're going to learn Mishnah pretty much in full.
I can see there's something
Later.
here we don't know.
So the Mishnah says, just to review, the Mishnah says, I have a siman whether or not the animal gave birth or not, and whether her firstborn is a Bechor if you buy from a guy. I have one siman. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That is, if I buy an animal within the first year, if it's a goat, if she gave birth within the first year, a goat could only give birth once in her first year. A sheep could only give birth once in 2 years, in her first 2 years. A cow could only give birth once in her first 3 years, etc. But if it's after a year and she gave birth, now I don't know whether or not she gave birth before. It's possible she gave birth once before in her first year. Now she's already started her second year of life, and she gave birth, so now I don't have a siman anymore. Ask the Gemara, why not? Why is that not a siman? Mikan ve'elach, amai suffer. Why is it a suffer? You're saying maybe this animal is a Bechor, maybe she gave birth to a Bechor, maybe it's not a Bechor because she already had offspring before, in her first year. Says Gemara, we have a roiv. The Torah goes by a roiv. Achri Rabim Hatois. And what does it tell us? A roiv tells us this is what happened. It's not b'diavad, this is what happened. Most animals give birth in their first year, therefore we have to assume she gave birth in her first year. And if she gave birth in her first year, this animal that we're seeing now is a second animal. Second animal is Pater for Bechor. Right? It's not a Bechor. Why are you saying it's a Savik Bechor? Halachically, there's a Vada here. She Vada gave birth in her first year. So, Leimo Rabbi Yishmael Rabbi Meir Sfir Lei. And in fact, this is how the Gemara is going to finish off in just a few lines. That our Mishnah goes like Rabbi Meir, all over Shas. Rabbi Meir is always choishish for the meat. We have to be concerned. No, maybe there's a small amount of animals that don't give birth in the first year, and she's one of them, and the offspring she had right now is in fact a Bechor. So the owner can't eat it. What does he do with it? Yirachi, stove, etc. Says the Gemara, wait a minute. You're telling me it only goes according to Rameir? Maybe it goes according to everybody. I feel the same Rabbanon. He asked the Basaruba. When do Rabbanon go with the roiv? Beruba, this come on. When I could see the roiv right in front of my eyes. Kigoin Teishachanuyois V'Sanhedrin, the famous case. If somebody found a piece of meat on a sidewalk in front of 9 kosher stores. He was walking in the shuk. There's stores lined up. And there's a piece of meat on the ground, and there's one guy selling treif chazer by mistake. We can assume that the piece of meat is kosher. They don't sell in the shop, right?
No, it's not by mistake.
Yeah. If it is, well, that's a sham. But the 9 stores are right in front of our eyes, so you have.
Because then you would know it's true.
Right.
Chazer looks different.
I meant Rabbanot, but I just said.
It looks different.
Okay. Avo ruba the lesser come on. Late asler rabbana basa ruba. Maybe by us, we're talking about all the animals of the world. They give birth in the first year. All the animals of the world are not in front of us. We can't see all the animals of the world. Such a roiv is not a real roiv. Says the Gemara, I'll prove to you that you're wrong. Rabbanon say roiv even when the roiv is not in front of our eyes. You have yibum. A man dies, unfortunately, without children, so his brother becomes a yavam. He has to be yavam, the yavama. Now, if he leads to yibum, but we're talking about the yibum case, if he's a katan, we don't let them get married right away, according to the Tanakama. Why? Because we have to be chayshish that the katan is not a real, he might be a saris. If he can't have a kid, then he's being over at Neshisish. The only way we let them get married is if we know they can have children. Lakim Shem, Lachim, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Shacholi V'Vavai.
It's not a derisive, he doesn't have dust, too.
No, nothing to do with that. It has all to do with Lakim Shem, Lachim.
People do the baptism.
Yeah. You don't need that. If the Yavam is also Ktana, she can't be Miyavim and she can't be Chaylet. Why? Because maybe she's a islandess. I wrote the pasuk every time now since Avi's speech. I always think about what he said. I have this complex. Is it in the Art Torah or not? This one happens not to be there. But it says in the pasuk, if you look at the words, if he doesn't want to do yibum, so what is this pasuk talking about? Chalitza. If he doesn't want to do it and he's an ish, look how this is yibum. So the pasuk of ish that tells us that he has to be a man is in chalitza, not in yibum. So really, I don't know this halacha when I get to yibum. I only know that he has to be a man. He has to be 13 when it comes to chalitza. Ish causes a parashu makshinon ishal ish, and we have a hekish, so she also has to be 12. Matam in yibum, but at the end of the day, we don't know that a katan cannot do yibum. Amar lahem katan shema yimotzei saris. Maybe he'll be a saris. Tana shema timotzi islands. V'nimtzu poigim be'erva. It comes out that they are being over on Ishnas ish. Says the Gemara, V'rabbanon, however, and this is the kasha. Zil basa roiv ktanim, v'roiv ktanim lav sarisim ninu. Rabbanon say, no, we're not concerned. We take most of the ktanim in the world, 95% of them are not sarisim. I don't know the statistics, I didn't Google it, but I did Google something else, a statistic soon. No, seriously, I don't know how many are sterile, but there's a percentage. Isn't there a singer or something that's a shtickle? Whatever, Lo Mishana, maybe it's not. There's... No, I'm serious. He was just the Calvin Rebbe. I don't know. Did he have children?
No. Because of the Holocaust.
Right.
It wasn't because he was
You're right. You're right.
It's not a good thing. They
Not a
made
good
him
right.
sterile.
Okay, fine. But this I guess you're right. There's people in the neighborhood that don't have children. There's just something like that.
Be sterile completely is a very small percentage.
Okay.
Lo Mishana, there is a very, very small percentage. Lo Mishana what the percentage is. As long as it's not a roiv, it's under a roiv. Rabbanan say we're not concerned. Zubas roiv tanos, roiv tanos labaylam is ninu. So yeah, I mean that's in the time of the Gemara is much higher. I'm sure it's much higher.
That's the focus.
Yeah.
We haven't even got today's class yet.
Yeah. It's not too bad. Fine. So what do you see? You see that Rabbanan, we go by the roy. If a katan can marry Yavama, even though we're not sure if he's a sars or not, we go by the roy, even though not all katanim of the world are in front of us. Ela Marava, top of that chaf, an aleph. We should remember this line right here for later on in the sugi. First, it's not a big deal. Machvartu Rabbi Shmuel Kirmeir Sfirle the Chaysh Lemiyuta. Okay, at the end of the day, we have to say it goes according to Rabbi Meir, not Rabbanan. Our Mishnah that says that there's a suffix in the second year. If a goat gave birth in her second year to a vlad, we don't say, most animals already gave birth. No, there's some that don't give birth in the first year, and she might be one of those animals that didn't give birth in the first year, and therefore the offspring is a suffix bechor. It's not a vadai, not a bechor.
So he's not holding like the other that they give birth in the first year.
No, we're not. We hold that we have to be concerned with the meal. Rabbanan say we're not concerned with the meal. Only Roiv. Remeir says we're concerned with the meal. Now there's a small percentage of animals that don't give birth in the first year, so it's possible that the animal that the Jew bought from the guy is one of those animals of the small percentage, and she gave birth. Therefore, her offspring is a bechar. We don't base it on the Roiv. Ravina Amar Afilu Temer Rabbanan. This could go according to those who hold that you go by the Roiv. Ki has the Rabbanan Basaruba. Beruba the Tolib Maisa. Beruba the Tolib Maisa loy. There's two things. If you're looking at all children of the world, you say most of them are going to be normal, healthy children. They're not going to be servicim, but they don't have to do anything to get there. It's just a natural process. Over here, you need to come onto another animal. You need a zachar and an akeva to create a child. You need to come onto the zachar. Okay, that's a statistic, but it's not something you could say it's definitely going to happen. It's a mice. It's an outside. You have to come on. You have to rely on an exterior thing to happen. External factor.
If Rova's man it happens, what's the difference?
Love
Why
that
is it
those
the
is
same row?
Yeah, Lavdafka is Zohar.
If it wasn't Zachar, there's no right.
Lavdafka she'll accept the Zohar. Lavdafka this,
Rove
Lavdafka.
times, it happens. So what do I care? Sometimes not.
Because Rav time if there's a Zachar. But who says there's a Zachar?
Why do we hold like Rabbi Meir when we usually don't hold like him? In this case,
Which is all-
No, we're saying first of
we
all,
don't follow the
Who
rules.
cares?
first of all,
Rove
most
times, it happens.
Mishnayos that are anonymous Mishnayos are Reb Meir. And what we're saying, this Mishnah, our Mishnah is going according to Reb Meir. It must go according to Reb Meir, which makes a lot of sense that most anonymous Mishnayos are Reb Meir.
How many balls in the calculation?
Tana Rabbanan. Now we're just going to review our Mishnah, if we forgot it, and with a little bit more explanation. If a goat gave birth, we're just going through the whole list again. If a goat gave birth within her first year, then we know that she could not have given birth prior to that. She can't give birth twice in her first year. So what she gave birth now is a bechor. Goes to the kohen. Mikan lahalon, after her first year, suffix. Rocho b'ashtayim v'ad l'kohen. A sheep within 2 years, same thing as a goat, but it's a 2-year period. She can only give birth once in her first 2 years. Mikan lahalon, suffix. What do you do with the suffix? Yirachi Stoyev, you will wait until there's a mum, then the owner gets to eat it. A cow is 3 years. Like our Mishnah only brings this shita that a donkey is like a cow. However, Rabbi Yossi says that a donkey is 4 years. That matches what we have in our Mishnah, Rabbi Shmuel. When Rabbi Yeshua heard this, Omer lahem tzu'u imru loy Rabbi Shmuel te'iso. Okay, this we also had in our Mishnah. It's a mistake. Now, just so we have a little reference here, this is what the Gemara is going to call later on Gemara. This is what Rabbi Yeshua heard from his Rabbein. In a minute, he's going to say Svare. He's going to say his own Svare. So what did he hear from his Rabbein? Ilu bevlad bilvad habehema nifter soikim l'recha. This we had yesterday. If we're only going based on her offspring, and you're looking at full-term births, you're right. Elo simin avlad bebehema dakatinov. You forgot to factor in one very important thing. What about miscarriages? What about a little blood that came out before? It's very possible that maybe she saw a little blood. She got pregnant for a month. There was blood. That blood contained the fetus, and now she gave birth. So now what you're looking at is her second birth, and the first birth, the first blood actually gives her a patur of bechira. The second, it's a second pregnancy. Second pregnancy doesn't require bechar. Like we said, that if it's a small animal like a goat and a sheep, tinuf, just blood. Ubegasa, you need a little bit more to prove that it was a pregnancy. Shilya, afterbirth. Ubi isha, and by a woman, it's shafer v'shilya. It's one or the other. It's either afterbirth or an outline of a fetus. Now comes his own svara. This is svara. He doesn't hold like this, and the Gemara today we're going to be busy explaining what's the difference between him and the Tanakama. What's the difference between Tanakama and Rebbe Kiva in the Mishnah? He sticks in 6 months. So what's the 6 months? If we know for a fact that the tinuf happened before 6 months, it's not a problem. If a goat had soil, you saw a little blood, bashisha, you let this b'say shnasa. If it's up to 6 months, up until the 7th, then it's not a problem, this tinuf. She has plenty of time.
Is that considered a miscarriage? No, it is a miscarriage. Just you can't know.
Right. Now, the Gemara explain exactly.
Taking twins, maybe. The first Shulya.
No. Rachel shetinfa bashnasa, your ledes b'toich shtayim. Okay. Right now we don't know exactly what he added, what he said. The Gemara is going to explain. Omer Rebbe Kiva, and now Rebbe Kiva argues on Rebbe Yeshua, and he says, "Ani lo basili de midazu." I didn't come onto this. Ela kol sheyidu shebikur ein kan lekoyin klum. And again, this is something we had yesterday in the Mishnah. Rebbe Kiva says, if it's a no suffix, we know that she never gave birth. Kol sheyidu that she gave birth. Bechoros, she did give birth. Ein kan lekoyin klum. Then the kohen doesn't get anything, obviously, because this is the giving birth. If we know for a fact that she didn't give birth, then it's obvious it's the coins. Suffolk, if I have a suffix, then the owner gets it. What did Rabbi Kiva add and what is he arguing? We shall see. So, just as a Hagdama, it's not a big deal, it's a very simple sugya. 3 things that they could possibly be arguing whether or not blood is enough to say it's a pregnancy. Is that a pregnancy? So a little blood, no. So is she had a little miscarriage. Who says that's a bechar? Or do we even have to be concerned that maybe that happened or not? And finally, is it possible to give birth after tinuf? A goat could only give birth once in the first year. She give birth after she had a miscarriage. Let's see.
Within the year.
Yeah. I'm not saying the whole sugya, just a outline. Rabbi Yishmael Sovar Tinuf Eni Poiter. Maybe the machlokes is Rabbi Tinuf Poiter Kamiflig Rabbi Yishmael Sovar Tinuf Eni Poiter. Maybe it says, yeah, you saw blood. There's a little miscarriage, but a miscarriage is not a bechar. We don't consider it halachically as a bechar. We need a full-term baby. Rabbi Shua Sovar Tinuf Poiter. Says the Gemara, no. If it's obvious to everybody that there was a miscarriage, the Kuli Amalei Plig the Tinuf Poiter. Everybody's going to agree that that's considered a pregnancy for Bechar. Do we have to be concerned or not? Most animals are not metanef, so there's no reason, again, we're going by the Roiv, there's no reason to think that maybe there's tinuf. A guy buys an animal from a guy, he has no idea if there was a miscarriage or not. He's going to say, yeah, let's be choshesh. Maybe there's a small percentage of animals that miscarriage. So now what she gave birth, it comes after miscarriage, and you're not chayv b'char. It's still a suffix. I have to just assume maybe there's a little miscarriage.
And ein halachim acharod?
No, he's going to go right. Choshim l'miyot.
Choshim l'miyot.
Even though it's suffix deraisa.
The top line on this summary. Rava says that we go according to Meir. We are choishish for the miyut. Says the Gemara. There's a big difference. Ki chayish lechumra, lekula loy choishish. In other words, if we're saying that a miyut don't give birth in the first year, I'm confused now. What was the first case? Maybe in our Mishnah, a person bought an animal. Maybe the animal gave birth in the first year, or maybe she didn't give birth in the first year. You just bought an animal that gave birth in the second year. Maybe it's a pure bechar. So that's a chumrah. Now I'm taking it. I'm saying I have to be choishish for that miyut that birth in the first year, and I have to give it to the kohen. That's a chumrah. Now I want to say that there's maybe there's blood, maybe there was a miscarriage, and therefore what? I don't have to give it to the kohen. It's the exact opposite. I'm using the miyut not to give it to the kohen. That's a kula. So maybe I don't say that. Ki chayish l'chumra, the kula loy chayish. B'boy say bein l'kula bein l'chumra chayish. Halacha is halacha. Miyut is a miyut. I go by the miyut. If you go by miyut, always go by miyut, even if it's a kula. Can it? So the way I understand it, it's not really a shaila in Metzias, because then you could just take a goat and see if after a miscarriage you can give birth. The question here is a little bit different. You saw blood, but what you saw is not the right thing. You saw tinuf, but you don't know what a tinuf is. You thought you're a big mumcha and you understand it's a miscarriage. What you saw is not a tinuf. The fact is she gave birth within a year. So it comes retroactive. What you saw is not a tinuf. Or no, what you saw was a tinuf. And in fact, the second pregnancy is not a bechar.
Does it matter how old the Uber is? How many months?
This all happens within the first year. It has to be within the first year. Within the first year. The Rabbi Shmuel saw and the fact is you saw that she gave birth. What you saw, that's why I think you have to stick in it. What you saw is not tinuf. It's proof that what you saw wasn't tinuf. It wasn't a miscarriage. So just because she gave birth is not a raya that there wasn't a miscarriage. You saw a miscarriage, that you actually saw a real miscarriage. As the Gemara is going to say tomorrow, you have to show it to a chacham in miscarriages. So this guy's not such a chacham. Comes out that he's a chacham patata. Whatever. He's not a mumcha in miscarriages. Nothing, a potato chacham. Sweet potato. It's a lashon for kids in the nursery. Vani eini oimer came. Elo eisha timfo bashisha yilad this toich shnasa. So Rabbi Shua. Yeah, not an hour. So we have Rabbi Shua who says his own svara. He says, I argue that what? Elo eisha timfo bashisha, if a goat had a miscarriage when she was only 6 months old, Mamash Rahmanis on this goat. She's 6 months old, she's already having miscarriages. Very led us.
She had babies in the first year.
She got married when she was 5 months old.
So we have to understand what's going on here. What is he adding? What is he arguing on? Ma'iko ben Gemara l'svara. What is the difference between Yeshua himself to what he quoted? According to everybody, we have to be concerned whether or not there's a miscarriage. And if there's a miscarriage, then the second one is a suffix. The second one is a suffix because we have maybe there's a miscarriage. Says the Gemara, shetinfa b'soif shisha. V'kibenayu d'zeiri. I have a nice chart here. I don't know if you can see it. There's 12 months in a year. We're going from right to left, like in Hebrew. This is the 6th month, 7th month, 8th month of her life, etc. Now, she had a miscarriage in the beginning of the 7th month, where this red line is. That's the day 1 of the 7th month. That's Shisha. Shisha means the end of the beginning of the 7th, Rashi says. So she had a tinuf over here. When could she get pregnant? If she could only get pregnant on the first day of the 8th month, then that means, and she's pregnant for 5 months, and it's very serious. The Gemara takes this very seriously. When the Gemara says 5 months, it means not a day less than 5 months. So it comes out that she gave birth on the first day of her 2nd year, in the 13th month of her life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She gave birth right over here. If she got pregnant on the first day of the 8th month, then she could only possibly give birth on the first day of the 13th month of her life, and that is not what we're talking about. We're talking about she had to give birth within the first year. That's the only raya. She gave birth within the first year. In order to understand this a little bit better, we have to look in Rashi, the bottom Rashi, or the second to last Rashi.
Tinuf is 30 days.
Oh, so that's what Zeiri says. Zeiri says, that's the question. Do we hold like Zeiri that it's 30 days? That she simply, Rashi explains, she doesn't accept a male once she has a miscarriage for 30 days. That's it. 30 days she's out of the parsha. Or no, Rabbi Shua, his own Svari, says no. She could get pregnant the next day. So if she could get pregnant the next day, then she got pregnant in the 7th month. She has plenty of time to give birth within the first year. So Rashi says here, what? No, could. We're not concerned about that tinuf. Then everybody's asking that she could give birth afterwards. Talking about even what happens if she's metanif all the way to the first day of the 7th. The worst case scenario, the first day in the 7th month. What happens before is Givaldic. Then she could give birth. No, then she has her 5 months. So look at Rashi. It's a long Rashi. We skip to the sort of a third down in the Rashi. They call Chatshe Ibur Be'inin Shleimim. It's very good to see this Rashi inside. You see it? Let's say 10 lines from the bottom of Rashi. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 lines. The call Chatshe Ibur Be'inin Shleimim V'achikach Yiledis L'Macher. When it comes to pregnancy, whether it's by a human being or by an animal, you need full months, and after you have the full months, she gives birth the next day. Vayitin Hashem lo heroyon, pregnancy. The gematria, Reish Yud Vav Nun, is gematria Masayim Shivim Ve'achot, 271. If you do math, 9 times 30 equals 270. So a woman is pregnant for 9 months times 30 days. She gives birth on day 271, heroyon. Meaning, a woman needs 9 full months, and only then she can give birth. So when an animal gives birth after 5 months, she can't give birth minus 1 day. She has to give birth on the first day of the 13th month. And we can only, our whole sugi is saying that she gave birth within the first year. We have a raya that this first Leida is her first Leida, was having the first year. I know you're thinking, splitting hairs here, one day, what's the difference? Okay.
Month doesn't have 30 days.
What's the story with the 5 months? After 5 months?
It has to be 5 full months, and then she gives birth on the following day. And so let's see, this is machlokes in it. That's the first thing. So the first shaila is, Viki B'nai de Ziri, three lines from the bottom. Doma Ziri 18 of Pachas B'Shleishim Yom. Ziri holds, once she miscarries, then she cannot get pregnant for 30 days, she simply doesn't accept the male. Ligmare is Leda Ziri. What he quoted from his Rabbeim, they hold it's not possible. So if she saw Tinov on the first day of the 7th month, it's not possible for her to have a baby that year. The Svare, less than the Ziri, he completely disagrees with Ziri. He says there's no such thing as she has to wait 30 days to get pregnant. Some get pregnant even earlier. So if she saw Tinov on the first day of the 7th month, it's possible for her to give birth in the first year.
What are we actually trying to prove here? That this baby born at the end of the year.
No, talking about is it a suffix or not? Do we have a suffix? Do we know that is this her firstborn or perhaps her second labor? Since it's within the first year, it could only happen one lady you could have in the first year.
Since it's possible, if we're going to establish that it's possible that she gave birth within the first year,
This animal that was born in month 13 on the first day, maybe it's her second birth.
could be the second
Because she can only give birth once in a year. But it's not a year anymore. This is the year and 1 day. Year and 1 day, she give birth to 2 animals.
But the suffix would, what happens if the first tinif was in month 5? It's
No,
still a
so
suffix.
So it's not a tinuf. Then it's not a tinuf. If she gave birth within that year, it can't be a tinuf.
We're talking that she gave birth at the end of the 12th month. Okay, within the first year. Do we know that this?
What you're saying? It's not the 13th. It's not the
That's
first.
the question.
No. That's the next thing you're saying.
No.
Yeah?
She gave birth the last day of the year. Okay, now do we know that this is a bechor or not? So if we say that she's not that it's 30 days, okay, and the tinuf was at the beginning of the 7th, so this birth on the 12th in the 12th month proves to me that the tinuf at the beginning of the 7th month was not tinuf. Is memela this one is a bechor. But if we say that a tinuf could be less than 30 days, so this birth, even though it's still within the year, it still can be the second one. But the first one is a tinuf. That's the bechor in its bechor.
Everybody's masking to you.
What?
Everybody's masking to you. That's what he says. Yeah. Let's see inside. What do you guys say, no?
Yeah,
What is the arch supposed to say? What does the Messiah say? Big Mare is like a zero.
sounds like fun.
Let's see.
But they're arguing that's whether you can have less than 5 months.
Here, look at Rashi. Rashi says.
Right.
That's where I got it from. Okay.
No, if it's already within the month 30, then for sure
Right.
we don't know.
Okay. Everybody holds no, she won't get pregnant within 30 days. Plain and simple, is it possible for an animal to give birth within 5 months? Less than 5 months. You need full 5 months. So Rashi explains, because the Gemara, his Rebbes hold like the Gemara Nida, Heroyon, you need to be a pregnancy and only the day afterwards. He agrees to the Gemara Nida. He just says that it doesn't apply to an animal, it only applies to a human being. Heroyon is 270 days for a human being. And there's no concept of 5 months for an animal. An animal could give birth to 4 months and 29 days. That's this is even splitting more hairs. Is the beginning of the day like the end of the day? She started the day. Rashi says even another shot. Maybe even when she miscarried, maybe that day is a full day. Once she miscarried, you already count that as the second day. Fine. So what does Rabbi Kiva say? If I know for a fact that that's a birth, she didn't give birth before, so then it's for sure a bechor. If she gave birth, then it's not. And if it's a suffix. Ma'ike bein Rabbi Kiva to Rabbi Yeshua. So what's the difference? This animal is nursing. So is that enough proof that she had a baby? Why would an animal nurse? So Rabbi Kiva Sava Cholov Poiter Halach Roy Behemois and Cholvois Elam Ken Yolis. We have a roy, and typically an animal doesn't nurse unless she had a baby. So Mamela, when he's saying I need like possibly they meet the zoo, meaning I have two things. Not only do I have a raya that if she gave birth in the first year, if she's a goat, then it's the first birth because a goat could only give once. I have another raya. Check out if she's nursing or not. Ani loy basi l'dei mizu ella kol shidu. If I could also see the nursing, that's a good enough raya for me. Rabbi Shua savar ha'ikam miyut l'cholvois afal pishen yolis. So Rabbi Shua has a miyut. There are those who nurse without having babies. It's not a raya. Umichayish Rabbi Shua l'miyut v'snan hoysel l'chamois. If I have chamois, you have chamois? Interesting. If she has a
also why after the year says it's also vada it's vada not cold. Why the body needs only when it has a moon? Why it needs to wait for it to have a moon?
yeah. The suffix.
So chayish lemiyut.
In what case?
There's no mute. In the contract, there's no mute. There's no such thing.
Do we hold like Rabbi
And
Meir?
behema.
No, he's going back to the Mishnah. He's not talking about this case. But we're going to see who holds what. The Gemara is going to switch it. I don't know if that's going to help you or not. If it's more than enough time. If she has a mother-in-law, who? The Yavama. So this woman was married, and she was married to an only son, and the son died. Could this woman get married to another man? Do we have to be choishish? Maybe she has a brother-in-law somewhere. Why? Because she has a mother-in-law. No, she has a mother-in-law, and the mother-in-law is a childbearing age, not an old mother-in-law. She has a 35-year-old mother-in-law that could still have children, and we don't know where she is. Maybe she had a child somewhere.
Okay, tell she is. She had one.
We're saying to the point that she knew her up until she was 65 years old, and now she's gone. Okay, she can't have children anymore. That's not a child. We're talking about she has a younger mother-in-law.
Are you a
Yeah?
Shalmi
For the
mother?
public record, your mother-in-law is a very nice mother-in-law.
Can I just ask? We're not choishish.
I hear what you're saying. Okay.
He didn't agree.
No. It has to be true. Yeah, Louis too, my father was watching. Impossible. Then good. Thank you. Yeah,
We're not choishish that this mother-in-law might have a child in future.
No.
It becomes Yovam.
No. Once she's married off to another man, we don't care. Right now, is there Zika to Yavam? If there's a Yavam in the world, she's not allowed to get married. She's Eishes Ish.
Is there a
She's
suffix
Zuckum.
Zika that she'll have another
What?
child?
Eishes
and
Sav, whatever.
there'll be a-
So therefore,
I don't know what she is.
So it's nothing
She's
younger.
Zika. Fine. Let's go. Let's go weiter.
Connection.
So we're talking about are you choishish from you tonight?
10 minutes.
We don't have to worry that maybe she had a baby somewhere. Yotza Malaya, but if her mother-in-law went out pregnant, here's an unbelievable chiddush. She went out pregnant. So what are the chances that she had a boy? And very strong. Why?
Wow.
50% of pregnancies are females. But guess what? And I looked it up on Google. I never even thought about thinking about this.
Not by me.
Where you take the other guy that had 7 boys,
Oh.
that had 7 girls.
Math was boring.
My brother-in-law had 7 girls to
Brother
count
has
their after 7
7
boys.
girls.
It's in the world, right? So you have 50% females, the shidduch price is whatever, so let's say it's 51. But you have a nice percentage of women, I didn't realize this, they miscarry. It's like 1 in 4 pregnancies is a miscarriage. And as this is unbelievable a fact, a woman who's 45 years old who's pregnant has over a 50% chance of miscarriage. Even some people say 80%. So as she gets older, the percentages
more likely
climb
to be
tremendously.
right. and
But it
more
doesn't
likely
matter.
to
Even if
avoid.
only 1% of women miscarry, but the number is much higher, unfortunately, you have 51%, 50 females, 50% females, and 1% of miscarriage. So now we have a miyut that give birth to males.
Why don't we say that
Together with
two?
The two things.
Excluded from the cheshbon, and now because she's pregnant, it's a 50-50 chance.
But she could miscarriage. From the time you see her, she could miscarry. Now, in later terms, in later days, in later weeks, the percentages start going down. What?
Could be she's already in the 9th month.
Okay.
What do you mean? She's left.
You can miscarriage.
We see her leave.
You know what? There's a lot of child deaths. There's deaths at birth. There's a lot of stuff going on. So you don't have a 50%. The point is you don't have 50%.
What we're saying is when she leaves, you mean that we knew she was pregnant, this mother-in-law,
Yeah.
and she's gone abroad. And
She went abroad. We don't know
we
what she
don't
gave
know
birth to. Is there a yavam floating around the world? Chances are there's only a 45% chance of it in the
Pretty high
world. And
chance.
that's high, but it's a miyut. It's less than 50%. Anything less than 50% is a miyut. You're thinking to yourself, a 1% is miyut. No. Roiv is 51, miyut is 49. There's a 49% chance that it's a male. That's not enough for Rabbi Yeshua. He's not concerned with 49%. Now over here we said he's very concerned that some animals are able to nurse without having a offspring. All of a sudden he's concerned with the miyut, and over here he's not concerned. The take the two things together. And now the males that are born to this woman become a miyut. It's such a strong question. We have to reverse Rabbi Yeshua with Rabbi Akiva. And I'll prove it to you. Cholav poiter, the fact that she's able to nurse, it's enough to say that she gave birth to a baby, Rabbi Yeshua, because he's only choishish to the roy. Rabbi Akiva Omer Cholav Eini poiter, not choishish. Says Rashi, El Eipuch, Teretzta, it's a tirutz. Rabbi Yeshua saver tinuf poiter v'adin l'cholav. There's two things that patter. If she miscarried and if she is nursing. That's what we thought in Rabbi Akiva a second ago. What's Rabbi Akiva l'meimar? Kol sheyidua shebichra v'afila deitinuf ein kan l'koyin klum. Suffix, but if there's a suffix, v'afilu chayleves, we don't care about her nursing at all. Torah Rabbanon. Very gishmaka sugya. I have a unbelievable thing. I don't know if you can see it over there. You have a mother goat, and the mother goat gave birth to triplets. And this all happened within 1 year. What's a year? From Elul to Elul, because we're concerned about Meiser Behema. Meiser Behema, all 10 animals have to be born within the Elul to Elul. If one is born before Elul, it cannot combine with the other ones. So this mother goat gave birth on the first day of Elul. We're going to Meir Elul.
She was born on Aleph.
She was born on Aleph Elul. Thank you. You're right. She was born on, well, yeah. And, why? I don't know if that's enough community. We'll have to see. For some reason, it doesn't make sense to me it's enough community. She gave birth to triplets. Those triplets are able to give birth within the first year of their life. And each one gave birth to triplets. So how many do we have here? Here is 9, the triplets, plus the 3 is 12. These 12 can combine for a meiser. Very simple. Oh, the black one in a second, you'll see soon. It has to be girls, females, because only females can give birth to the second set. No, it's not. I saw this with my own eyes. That her offspring is like Mamash Yerushalmi Mishpacha. They were able to get to this number within 1 year. Ask the Gemara, why do I need to say that these 3 gave birth to 3? Very simple question. Take off the black guys, and you also have 10, because we had 12. So just take off from pretend that she gave birth to 2, and this one gave birth to 2. You have a total of 10. Why do you need 12 for this story? You have 3 plus 2 plus 2. Says the Gemara, but you need one of them to give birth to 3. It's a lot simpler to say everybody gave birth to 3. Fine. Now the Gemara has a good kasha. Just say that these 3 gave birth to 2 each. How many do we have total?
9.
9. No, the mama. That's why the mama is not included. Ask the Gemara. Let them all just give birth to twins. But the other this Nebuch goat,
Oh, give birth to another one.
Is it possible to say that maybe the reason is because she cannot give birth within 1 year to 2 sets? Just like if she miscarried, she can. Says the Gemara, even if you say that miscarriage doesn't count, over here it certainly counts because it's not a miscarriage, it's a full-term birth. So that's why, since she can't give birth to 2 sets of triplets in 1 year, that's why we need that these guys gave birth to triplets on the bottom. What?
You have Irish twins.
Irish?
Irish twins
What's
are
it?
siblings that are born in the same year. They're not twins, but they're 11 months apart.